Hey man, say man, what's good YouTube, Trizzy Gang and the hood, Trizzy Gang, was good family. Shout out to Fern for the video. This video was dropped like 2 days ago. We got the man who saved the world. And I have absolutely no idea who this man is in the thumbnail. You can call me uncultured, you can call me uneducated. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who this man is. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's Neil Armstrong, I don't know. I don't know. We finna check it out. I thought this would be a very interesting video. Let me take this bit out of 4K though, because I know not all of y'all niggas got 4K. You know what I'm saying? But if you're new, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications to be notified whenever I post a new video, man. We drop every day. If we don't drop every day, we drop every other day. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, I'm about to get back into streaming, y'all. I would say my return to streaming full time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna probably stream like 3 days out of the week. It's gonna start happening in August. You know what I'm saying? That's what I can tell y'all so far. Nothing's confirmed, but that's what I can tell y'all so far. Streams will be back in August. You know what I'm saying? Just keep a lookout for it. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell y'all more deets when it happens. But let's get straight into this, man. Let's see what it's talking about.
Soviet spy satellite Cosmos 1382 detects the launch of a nuclear missile. Location near a U.S. missile base in Montana. Threat assessment, maximum probability. The emergency protocol is clear. Relay the alarm to Central Command without delay. A counterattack must be initiated immediately. Thousands of Soviet nuclear warheads stand ready for launch, and so do the American missiles. Many carry over 50 times the explosive power of Fat Man, the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki. More than enough to wipe out humanity.
Jeez. Wild.
The logic of the Cold War: mutually assured destruction. Whoever fires first dies second. The man responsible for making one of the most important calls in history is Soviet Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov.
Okay.
Are the Americans really attacking the Soviets? His report could trigger World War III.
Listen, man, I like reacting to these history videos because I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. Your boy just did not pay attention to history class, bro. I used to sleep in history class. I still to this day wonder how I really graduated high school, bro. I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's not like your boy dumb, but I just did not pay attention in high school, man. COVID really saved your boy. I didn't graduate the year of COVID, but I graduated the year after. You know what I'm saying? When quarantine was really a thing and like you started to wear masks to school and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it had to be the online classes, man, because I don't even know what they talking about, but that's why we reacting to it.
And with it, the end of civilization.
So 1953. Shout out to Fern.
A minibus is speeding along a remote forest road somewhere south of Moscow. Stanislav Petrov is on his way to work. Tonight, he's filling in for a colleague on the night shift. About 10 minutes in, the minibus pulls up to a military checkpoint. A plain metal plaque by the gate reads, "Center for the Observation of Celestial Bodies." Officially, this place doesn't exist. It's not marked on any map. Tall white concrete walls shut it off from the outside world. Here, in the Serpukhov 15 bunker, Petrov is about to begin his shift. He's the shift commander for the Soviet Union's early warning system, OKO. His job is to trigger the alarm if the system detects a nuclear strike. Today, around 80 employees are under his command.
Damn, 80? It's a lot of employees!
Several hours pass. But at 12:15 a.m., the alarm goes off.
Oh shit, these boys started panicking!
It happens during one of the most dangerous periods of the Cold War. Since the late 1970s, tensions have been rising in a new spiral of escalation. Since 1977, the Soviet Union deploys new medium-range ballistic missiles in Ukraine and Belarus.
Hey man, y'all think we about to get another war? Do y'all think we about to get another war, man? Let me know now, man, so I can start going back to my country, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Let me know now, bro. I never been to my country, but you know, I will be a first time, you know what I'm saying, homeowner there. I'm gonna be real with y'all, bro. Listen, man, I didn't vote for anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not heavy into the politics stuff, to be honest with you. I always tell myself I'm not voting until I hear a president who meets my needs. You know what I'm saying? Who, like, I can really, like, you know what I'm saying? Feel something from. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Until then, bro, I'm not voting, bro. I just stay away from this shit, bro. Y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? But what y'all think happening right now in the world, bro? Like, with all this Iran stuff, like, bro, I don't know, man. All I know is, bro, I'm just trying to live my life, bro. Like, I'm just trying to live my life, man. I'm trying to live it, bro.
Belarus. In response, the West introduces the so-called NATO double-track decision. Starting in 1983, similar missiles will be stationed across Europe. These new missiles can independently lock onto their targets. A few weeks after the NATO decision, Soviet troops roll into Afghanistan. The Soviet Union wants to prevent the collapse of a communist regime that has seized power in a military coup along its southern border. The invasion sparks outrage in the West. In response, the West begins backing Islamist insurgents. In 1981, newly elected US President Ronald Reagan unveils an aggressive rearmament plan. He even orders an assessment of whether the United States could win a nuclear war. Soviet leader Yuri Andropov becomes convinced that NATO is preparing a surprise attack. To catch it early, he launches Operation Ryan, the largest intelligence mission in Soviet history. KGB agents are ordered to watch for any sign of a looming nuclear strike. That includes tracking things like sudden spikes in blood donations or an increase of official political visits. That's how Andropov learns about Able Archer, planned for the fall of 1983. Able Archer is designed to be NATO's largest and most realistic nuclear war exercise. It will simulate a full-scale nuclear conflict at the highest alert level. The exercise will also include large-scale troop movements. Andropov fears it could be a smokescreen.
Oh, yo, I gotta make sure my Patreon video uploaded. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, we back, y'all.
For a real strike. In March 1983, Reagan famously calls the Soviet Union an evil empire.
Let us be aware that while they preach the supremacy of the state, declare its omnipotence over individual man, and predict its eventual domination of all peoples on the earth, they are the focus of evil in the modern world.
By this point, dialogue between the two superpowers has all but collapsed. Public fear of nuclear war grows by the day. Millions around the world take to the streets
I'll be
to
scared
protest
too!
the race. The spiral of escalation reaches a temporary peak
I'm scared now!
just 4 weeks before the incident at Serpukhov 15 bunker. It's September 1st, 1983. A South Korean Boeing 747 is en route from New York to Seoul. On board, 269 civilians, including 61 Americans and a US congressman. What they don't know, the plane has veered off course. A misprogrammed autopilot is steering them straight into Soviet airspace. To the Soviets, every unexpected move looks like espionage. Soviet fighter jets scramble into the sky, one of them flown by Major General Gennady Osipovich. He spots a large passenger plane, its navigation lights clearly visible, not exactly what you'd expect from a spy plane. Osipovich
How do you have
radios in his
spy
report.
planes?
The order from Moscow is clear. Destroy the target.
Ooh.
After a brief back and forth, he fires a warning shot. No reaction from the passenger plane. Then he launches 2 missiles.
What?
All 269 people on board are killed. At first, the Soviet Union denies any responsibility. 5 days later, they admit the attack, claiming they genuinely believed the plane was on a spy mission. The United States quickly turns the tragedy into a powerful propaganda weapon.
These boys fired on us for what? For them thinking we did something?
Before the night of September 26, 1983, tensions were hanging heavy in the Serpukhov 15 bunker. Petrov grabs the microphone and shouts, "Everybody to their stations. Follow my orders, check all equipment, and report." He's repeated these words countless times in training. Before being trusted with his role, he had to memorize every detail, including exactly what to say in a moment like this. During basic training, Petrov was drilled for nuclear war. He stood in shielded chambers, handled radioactive material, and practiced emergency protocols for a full-scale atomic strike. But Petrov isn't the kind to just blindly follow orders. He's not a typical soldier. He's a scientist and engineer first. Years later, Petrov faces a decision no training could prepare him for. It's not a moment for quick reaction, it's one for smart analysis. Clear thinking under pressure isn't luck, it comes from understanding how systems behave. Brilliant can help you develop these abilities.
Alright, bro, that was good. Take
a course exploring database through by visiting subscription, became the Soviet military's top system analyst. He was honored with several awards for his work, including the title of Master Specialist in the Air Force. Petrov isn't allowed to speak about his work though. Not to his wife, Raisa, or their 2 children,
Dimitri
and Yelena. Though they live just minutes away from the bunker, they have no idea what he does here.
Damn.
Or how critical his decision will be that day. But right now, none of that is on Petrov's mind. Not his family, not even the stakes. He's thinking about teaspoons. Nobody uses a teaspoon to slowly fill a bucket, he mumbles. Why would the Americans launch just one missile? The Americans have repeatedly threatened with a massive first strike, hundreds, even thousands of missiles, all designed to hit the enemy at the same time. Petrov orders his team to run a series of checks on the computer systems. Everything is working perfectly, but the cameras show no visual confirmation of a missile launch. 2 minutes later, Petrov finally makes his call. He reports back to the headquarters. Probably a false alarm.
Okay.
Moments later, the sirens wail again. This time the system shows a second missile, then a third, a fourth, a fifth. The alert level jumps from launch to missile attack.
I mean, 5 of them things? Oh, yes, a missile attack.
Petrov knows the warning system inside and out. He helped to build it. He wrote the software and the manual.
Damn.
The Soviets had rushed to develop OCO after falling behind the Americans. They've been using a similar technology for over a decade. The Soviet system has been operational for less than a year. OCO, Russian for eye, is built to monitor Earth using a network of observation satellites. The satellites feed their data directly into an M10 supercomputer. The machine runs a complex 29-step algorithm to determine if a missile attack is underway, all in near real time. But Petrov doesn't trust the computer. The maximum probability warning feels wrong to him. It's too certain.
Really?
He and his team see no other signs of a nuclear launch. He thinks to himself, we built the systems, we should be smarter than the machines.
Shit.
Petrov reports a second false alarm. What follows are the longest 17 minutes of Petrov's life. That's how long it would take US missiles to reach Soviet soil.
I need a new chair, man.
Thousands of US ballistic missiles are primed for launch at key strategic locations, such as here, here, and here. Just one Minuteman III missile, armed with 3 warheads, could simultaneously obliterate the Kremlin's military command, flatten an airbase, and vaporize a submarine harbor. If a nuclear war breaks out, thousands of cities would vanish in minutes. Hundreds of millions of people would die instantly. Most survivors would be left to face a slow, agonizing death from radiation.
Man. I'm blocking
Petrov
the timer,
is not
y'all. Let me
certain he
move
made
my
the right
cam.
call. He estimates the odds of a real
I've
attack.
lucky been in the way of this video this whole time. Let me move my socials too. Alright, we straight.
At 50-50. When Petrov hangs up the phone, his colleagues stare at him in disbelief. He's just broken protocol, without a shred of proof that the warning system was wrong. A storm of questions must be racing through Petrov's mind. What if I am wrong, and missiles really are on their way?
What if you wrong, gang?
Would that be my fault?
Yes, the
But what
fuck?
if it is a false alarm? Could I live with millions of lives on my conscience? In the end, Petrov relies on only one thing, his instincts. He refuses to be the man who starts World War III. 17 minutes pass. No missiles appear on radar. No explosion on camera. Petrov was right. It was a false alarm.
Okay, Petrov.
Months later, an investigative committee
Smart
uncovers
ass
the
man.
cause of the false alarm. A rare and almost deadly chain of coincidences. A unique alignment of high-altitude clouds and sunlight produced a reflection, one the satellite mistook for a missile launch. And all of this happened directly over an American military base. The satellite's sensors were overly sensitive to light reflections. At the time of the alert, the sun was setting over Montana. That boundary between day and night often produces unclear satellite images. Immediately after the incident, this vulnerability was corrected. A while later, the system got an upgrade. The new OCO-1 generation could also determine the exact trajectory and thus the intended target of a nuclear missile. But the system would never again display a warning. The man who saved the world from nuclear war was never recognized as a hero in his own country. No public honor, no monument, not even a promotion.
Why?
Instead, his supervisor asked him why he hadn't logged the incident properly. Petrov explained, He had the phone in one hand, the microphone in the other. He didn't have a third, and writing it down later would have been forgery. He received a formal reprimand. Apparently, the military leadership was less interested in the truth and more in finding a scapegoat for the system's failure.
Of course.
A year later, Petrov was forced to submit a request to leave the military of his own accord.
Dang.
Whether it was truly voluntary is highly doubtful. After that, Petrov moves with his family to a quiet suburb outside Moscow. For nearly a decade, he works at the research institute that built the Oko system. For years, he tells no one what happened that September night, 1983, not even his family. But 10 years later, shortly after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Petrov's former superior reveals the incident in the Russian military newspaper, Pravda. Still, almost no one in Russia hears about it.
What?
Petrov retires in
They
1994.
blackballed my guy.
His monthly pension is about $55. He cannot afford a telephone. At times, he has to scrounge for food.
$55 and I saved I saved y'all? I saved y'all and y'all gonna pay me $50 fucking dollars? Are you fucking tripping? Are you crazy? Petrov, I would have got in touch with the US and I'd be like, come blow this motherfucker up, bro. Let me come over there to the US. Y'all blow this motherfucker up, bro. You pay me. Bro, I'm not even trying to be funny, bro. You pay me $55 after I saved your asses, nigga. I saved all our asses, but I saved your ass. Are we being serious? You're not even gonna give me credit. You're not acknowledging me at all. I'm forced to resign. I'm forced to retire. And you want me, bro, you paying me 50? Now, I get it. This is not, 1993, 83, whatever one it was. But, bro, you gonna pay me something, bro. I'm gonna get my check. I'm gonna get my cut. No cap. These niggas playing with him. That's crazy.
During this period, he cares for his seriously ill wife, Raisa.
And then his wife ill.
In
like,
1997, she passes away.
Man.
A year later, a man in Germany called Karl Schumacher reads an article in a German newspaper about the lonely, destitute Petrov.
This nigga saved him.
He flies to Russia and invites Petrov to Germany. After the turn of the millennium, Petrov's story, at last, reaches an international audience. He is celebrated in the West for his quiet act of courage. At the United Nations, he is honored with the World Citizen Award. Other awards soon follow. More than 200 journalists from around the world come to visit him. Petrov often says he doesn't want to be seen as a hero. He was just doing his job and fulfilling his duty. But he also adds, the world can be glad that I was in command that night, and not some blindly obedient military man. In 2014, Petrov's story is told in a documentary. The film opens with him hurriedly hiding a bottle of beer under the couch, just before the journalists arrive. He's portrayed as a foul-mouthed, temperamental alcoholic. Many scenes are clearly staged. Petrov later claims that he was forced to use particularly vulgar language on camera. For his participation, he receives a compensation of $3,000.
Damn.
In September 2017, Karl Schumacher calls to wish Petrov a happy 78th birthday. But this time, it isn't Petrov who answers, it's his son. He tells him that Petrov has died a few months earlier, quietly, without the world noticing. The man places an obituary in a local German newspaper. Only then does the public learn that Stanislav Petrov has passed away.
Damn, man.
2 years later, a memorial plaque is unveiled in his honor in Oberhausen, Germany. In Russia, however, for a long time the incident remains mostly a secret. Not even Petrov's gravestone mentions what he did, no acknowledgement of his actions. In 2022...
Because he genuinely don't want to be acknowledged for that shit, bro. At the end of the day, like he said, he was just doing his job, honestly. Like I said, it's the part where they was doing him dirty, where it's like, bro, you could have gave him his cut, you could have acknowledged him something, bro. He really, like, legit saved, you know what I'm saying, the world, like, dead ass. You know what I'm saying, like, but he didn't want to be known as it. I understand.
The independent Russian YouTube channel, Reduxia, releases a documentary on Stanislav Petrov. For many Russians, it's the first time they hear his story. Feel free to check it out. The video has English subtitles. More than 40 years after the incident, the nuclear bomb is once again wielded as a tool of political power. Nearly all the major disarmament treaties signed in the late 1980s have either expired or been unilaterally abandoned. The international security architecture built during that era has largely collapsed. Today, nearly all nuclear-armed states are rearming. Their nuclear arsenals are being continuously modernized. In 2025, the doomsday clock stands at 89 seconds to midnight, closer to global catastrophe than ever before, according to the world's leading nuclear scientists. Well, maybe not as close as on that fateful September night. more than 40 years ago. Until his death, Petrov warned that humanity's greatest danger is its own fallibility.
Man.
One way or another, you always need a person to order a launch of one of these weapons, and a person can always make a mistake.
Hey man, shout out to Fern, but Petrov, man, we need you right now. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I know you wasn't from the U.S., but bro, we need you right now, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. We need your ass right now. Right now. You know what I'm saying? This was definitely a W video about Fern, bro. I'm gonna start checking out Fern's video more, because these shits are just entertaining, bro. Like, it's genuinely like an insight on what's happened in the past, and even if he's kind of in ways like letting you know what's happening now, like it's very informative, bro. Like, I genuinely fuck with Fern, bro. But shout out to Petrov, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I was a little confused. Like, was it a thing where the U.S. was going against them? Like, y'all feel me in the comments? Because, I mean, I just reacted to it. I don't know if I just wasn't really listening well or whatever. My ADHD was kicking my ass. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Petrov, bro, because to not get credit like that, man, like I said, I would have called back them up and said, hey, bro, hey, send one this way, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Send one this way, man. Like, just let me get out of here. Send one this way. I'm just, no cap, bro. But I'll see y'all in the next one. I love y'all. I'll see y'all.